That was probably my favorite pattern of all the different eating styles I've done, the intermittent fasting, like the timed eating, only during a certain window. Of all the different patterns I did of eating clean or eating this or eating that, it was like I loved cram whatever you want in this window. And the fasting itself outside of that window is going to properly burn and do the right whatever you need to do. But if you, it was a lot easier for me to focus on just timed eating versus having to figure the diet stuff and all the other things and counting this or that. And when I just followed that, I felt great. It was crazy.
Ditto. I've had the exact same experience. And it's funny because it's like, okay, I'm going to give myself permission to eat whatever I want, as long as it's within this window.
Mhm.
And so you start out like the first day or the first week, you're like eating everything and you're eating constantly, man. You're just like, you're gorging. Then after about a week, it's like that wears off and you're eating like really healthy. It's just, you don't even have to try because you just realize it's like, I can eat whatever I want. And like, really what I want is something good, something nutritious. And because, it makes me feel good. And it's funny, it's
Hey,
just
Chris,
kind of,
I got a question for you.
yeah, what's that, Tim?
Black and blonde morels.
Okay.
What are they?
They're mushrooms. They're just different varieties of a particular species of mushroom. It's a springtime mushroom.
Yeah.
So right now they're popping. Not many in our area. There you can find them
They're
in
up north by my.
Santa Cruz. What's that?
There, some guy up in Chester, up Lake Almanor, was advertising. His.
Okay, he's got some for sale.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah,
one. They were.
nice. Yeah. Well, if you're just joining us, you found the health and nutrition channel here. Talking about all the dietary stuff and good foods.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, this is the Shower Door Professionals group. But
Hey,
you never know what we might talk about. So we're humans. Having this like human experience, man, includes all kinds of fun stuff. You know,
Got to feed the machine.
feed the machine, man. Yeah. Get old enough, we'll start talking about all of our medical problems, man, right?
That's next week.
That's next week. Talk about my goiters. But anyway, I don't really have one. I'm not even sure what it is, but it sounded good. Hey, are you guys doing any kind of consulting? Um, does anybody hire you to do any kind of consulting, or is there any part of what you do you just consider it consulting? How do you think about that? How do you charge for it? How do you talk to people about it? How do you sell it, or do you?
That that's a great question because I
Thank
find we
you.
end up consulting on a lot of our jobs, and I have a project manager who he was an estimator too, and he gets down the rabbit hole and design and engineering of all this stuff. I mean, not necessarily in the showers, but sometimes in the showers too, but just anything. And it's hard to capture that time to bill it to someone if it's not, your job yet. You're designing for, well, what they figure is a favor or free, but really you do need to, allocate the hours and capture it and as some sort of consultant or however you want to call it, but you got to wrap it in somehow because we've had, guilty of this. We've spent hours or days helping revise a spec or come up with something, have it go out and be priced by everyone else after we built it. So we're getting better at coming up with the right verbiage to say, like designing's fun, but it's not free, right? We'll work with you on it, but we need like some sort of LOI or some sort of commitment, and then you just bill it on as part of your job.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that because like, yeah, a certain amount of consulting, I suppose, is baked into the cake. I mean, you couldn't really do your job without consulting a little bit. But it's like if you don't draw the line somewhere, you can end up doing hours of it, and then like really maybe you're not even getting the job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then who pays for that? You know who pays for that? The next customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I tell people. Like when people would a lot of times when people will call, you get a message. If you don't get the call and they're like, hey, I need someone to come out and look at this. I mean, that's isn't that the most common thing people say? Hey, I got a shower, I need someone to come out and look at it. I say, wait, slow down, slow down. I'm not just gonna come out and look at your shower, man. I mean, you can't say it like that. You got to be more diplomatic than that. But I mean, and some people do, and that's why they've got that impression. So a lot of trades, that's how they do their sale. Their sale. I don't, maybe some of you guys do that. Maybe you've got enough bandwidth or whatever to just run out and look at whatever comes up. But my experience has been, man, I don't really have time to just come and look at your stuff. I mean, let's talk a little bit first. Let's make sure that it's a good fit, right? Qualify them. Or do you really have a shower? Come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Is there really a shower? Do you really have a house? All right. What condition is your shower in? Is there any tile on the walls? Come on, tell me the truth.
How
And
many times have you gone out to a site where they said it's ready to measure and there's nothing there? Yeah.
Plenty of times.
too
Yeah.
many.
Yep. And in
You
Austin,
have,
that's an hour, 2 hour drive, like it wasted time. And yeah, and then you ask for pictures and people are like, we don't want to force them to get pictures, and to each location and area and structure their own, right? But for us, and when I was leading that team in that area, luckily I made the call to not waste my time. Send me a picture, text me a picture of the space. Great. Hey, ma'am, that's actually not done. I'm gonna take exact measurements, but based on that door panel you want, that looks like a 58 to 60 by 80, maybe. Let me plug in those two sizes. Let me plug in if I was wrong by 10 inches on both, what that cost would be. Let me see if I care. And then tell her what the range would be for a 3/8 clear, 3/8 ultra, like get an idea of what they want, understand if they're a tire kicker, if they're like, great, sold. Because they might be calling you because you already have 5-star reviews. They already sold on you. They already know your reputation. They just need to know the price range and when you can come over. And like being able to clarify all that, at least that it's ready for you to go to. I've been able to measure 20 windows in a house and realize they never intended. They just wanted a general price so they could stick it to the next buyer. It's like, why waste our time for that if we don't ask those clarifying questions and then
yeah.
bake in some sort of, I've even seen some locations charge measuring fees. When we were very busy, it was $75 measure fee to go out or take our virtual quote and then commit to it. If we go out and you say no after we give you a quote that's like within the $50 range of what we said, if not exact, then you owe us that 75. And if you move forward with us, then we'll credit it to your bill. No biggie. But if we're gonna go through the time to virtually quote you and you have us go out, well, we're gonna like make you pay for that fee because you said yes, then you said no. And that's just throwing us around. And like you said, that our guys pay for it, the next customer pays for it, our trucks pay for it, what we can't afford, how much we have to charge, how much we can pay our people. That all gets baked into how much time we waste on these jobs we could pre-qualify in some way.
Yeah. We pre-qualify, like for any of the showers, if they come in through a form submission or something like that, they get pre-qualified with, an email back and forth. Because if they reply to the email, then there's some sort of interest. And then
Mhm.
we'll either get on a phone conversation, get pictures, and usually enough of a detail that if they've gone that far, they'll get a firm price from us over a picture and rough sizes. Because, like you said, if it's 10 inches off here or there, by the time you figure out your labor, your harvest, it doesn't matter. It's all going to come out in the wash. It's neither here nor there.
How much did you save not driving there, wasting time, and what your guy
Exactly.
could have
Yeah.
done? Your guy could have installed a shower or a window or done something in that hour.
And if we can't get those details, if it's like I don't have a camera that takes pictures or we're trying to extract details, they just get bracketing numbers. Here's your high number, here's your low number. And if you're committed to it, then I want more details. I want, you know, sign the work order, send the deposit, then we'll roll.
Mhm. You need on FaceTime. We've played with it. Some of our guys have done it here and there when they're trying to help somebody like really on the phone see what they have and like figure out what we got to do. But do any of y'all have that as a process? I've heard of people toying with it. I've never seen anybody actually FaceTime their customers regularly.
Oh,
I've never
No,
tried it, but it sounds like a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't
Un
be opposed to it.
mhm.
Unintentionally, we've done it before. Like, I had a customer trying to explain something what he wanted. He wanted like a hidden closet door with mirror on it, and he was just, he'd used WhatsApp and just did a video call and showed me the space and stuff like that. So, but it is very, if you get somebody that committed to doing a video call with you, you get a, that's kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people. So if they're comfortable doing a video call with you, chances are you've probably got them, if they're comfortable with you. So, because that's uncomfortable for most people, I would think.
Yeah, some people talk about pick up the phone, and that's uncomfortable enough, but pick up the FaceTime,
Yeah.
like, holy crap.
Yeah. If you can get them to do that, you're probably locked.
Yeah.
Good point. I like it. It's not a bad thing to suggest, just like Daniel's saying, man, just to kind of help qualify how
yeah.
serious they are.
I've actually never asked them, but they've asked me, and that's the only time I've ever FaceTime. Would you FaceTime? I was like, I guess. Sure. I was uncomfortable to like say yes, but it seems to be a cool thing to offer, especially. Yeah, I like that idea. Once they answer it, they're locked in, right? I didn't even think of that concept. I thought of more just creating another lane for them to enter in. I'm a big fan of that. However, your avatar communicates, create the lane in your business for them, so when they meet you, they can get what they need from you.
Hmm.
FaceTime, the youth. Maybe the youth wants to talk to a face AI agent of yours. I'll work on it and come back to y'all.
That's
Well,
what
it's
I
like,
need. I need an AI agent to just take over my stuff, like not like the physical stuff. So I don't have to record social media and stuff anymore. Just
Oh
Well,
have
yeah,
you got
one of those
you kind
AI
of got
things.
to think about it too. The people that have money to buy the expensive shower doors, they're usually not younger people. It's usually the older people that are, I say a little bit older, so chances of them being comfortable doing video calls, it's rare, but you can find them. There's some of them that are willing to do it, but you don't typically have a 24-year-old, 21-year-old that's buying a shower door, unless they're really advanced in what they're doing in life, you know.
yeah, that's a good point. It's true. There's some truth to that. Yeah, you get an AI agent that looks, like a puppy or something, or like you do whatever you want, right? You just be like some hot chick, with a lot of cleavage or whatever, and
you
Look
can
at that
do
lead
whatever
gen
you
going
want
up
now.
people might want to
30%.
buy from that thing.
There's multiple agents running right now, and like it's on all kinds of networks. Like I can eyeball most of them. I can usually tell that I scroll past, but there's tons of people already running AI influencers, just like the normal person you would see making videos, except it's their AI version. It's kind of easy to tell now, but I think in like the next year they say it'll be like super
Next to
hard.
impossible.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, but like you said, Ryan, like I love the AI agent getting you to help your stuff. Like that's what I'm always working on different hours of my day. The funnest one and the easiest one that um, has helped the most people is like getting Claude to clean up your desktop folder, like giving it access to a specific folder that might have 1,000 files you haven't sorted, bunch of screenshots and downloads, and tell it what folder, put this in a bunch of folders, organize it by picture or whatever, and it like does it for you. And I've just been unloading it on all these drives and folders I have. These plans I've had to name things this way, rename this, reorganize that, so that I can like have spend less time on that and more on the business stuff. Like the AIs definitely help with those small things you usually think I should hire someone to do this for me. It's like actually the AI is kind of good enough to just tell it. Change some settings and you can tell it to do a lot of those boring admin stuff you've been meaning to do inside of your files.
I didn't know you could connect it right to like your hard drive. I know it'll connect to the Google Drive, but it'll
Yeah,
connect.
it's hard drive now. It's all your files now, which is insane.
Yeah. Wow.
It is crazy, man. But Microsoft has access to all your stuff anyway, so
Oh yeah.
what's the difference, right? Same thing.
Yeah, I've been setting up mostly the only demand I've seen in the glass world, at least the normal one, is the AI agents for after hours. No one really wants it. There hasn't been high demand for AI answering calls during hours. More keep that to the humans. But as far as instead of having an after hours call service or just a voicemail, having an AI answer and collect the data, collect the details, the sizes, ask for pictures, text the customer back and forth if needed. But most people have just been inserting an agent like a call service. What do you need? I can take a message or I can add product details, get your name, number, email. Let me send you a confirmation. And here's your summary of what you said. I'll mark this as urgent or normal or whatever the message was for whoever you said it for. And then that email goes to like the business owner. And that little after hours, like that's where I've seen class owners mostly comfortable with AI, not really anywhere else unless you're really forward, crazy, risky thinking. But that's where it's been the biggest use for everyone I know, looking at after hours because you're closed or after hours because it's emergency. And you're used to having to answer all of those and filter. Instead, have the AI answer, filter, look for keywords in any emergency, then push to the human who's on call. But it makes them get bombarded less with every single call just because.
There's
Yeah,
definitely something to be said for the human aspect of it because I literally just got a sale from that. Like, I did a $4,000 shower door in a gated neighborhood near our shop, and I asked the guy. I had never met him until we were there to do the install. I asked the guy. I said, "How did you find this?" I said, I went to take the installer some hinges because we pulled the wrong hardware for him, so I took him the hinges real quick, and I was like, "Okay, I get to meet this homeowner." I said, how'd you find us?" He said, "Oh, I just Googled you and stuff." And I said, "Okay, so you just Googled us." And I was like, What made you?" I said, "It's crazy. We're doing your shower door and you dropped by our shop and gave us a deposit check and you've never even met me." Like this guy, just from speaking with him on the phone when he called and giving him an estimate, I went out and measured his shower door, never even met him because he had to run off and leave the house and go pick his kids up, but he was comfortable enough with what he heard over the phone with me to just let me in his house, measure it, price it, and bring us a $2,000 deposit check with no questions. So it's like, and he said, "Oh, you could just tell when I was talking to you, you could just tell you were somebody that you could knew what they were doing and you could trust them." So there's definitely something to be said for the human aspect of it. It's like because just certain people will pick up the fact that they can trust you or not. For sure.
the speed of trust.
Yeah.
Speed of trust,
And
man.
most shops aren't busy enough that they need that, right? It's more of a
Yeah.
convenience. Like most of us are worried about squeezing the juice out of every single lead as much as possible. And like when you can maximize your chances by having the human answer first, have the AI back up. Instead of it go to voicemail, answer and say, "Sorry, we're busy. Can we hold?" Like normal IVR style. Like that's where it makes place. But I've seen a huge push to human on the front line again everywhere. And
Mhm.
everyone responding to that way better than AI on the front line. It's easy, it's cheap, but it's not working and it's probably not going to work in this new AI age. People want to know, like, are you even real, man? Because it's
Yeah.
getting crazy out there.
I'm thinking Chris Phillips might be an AI agent hosting these meetings.
Am I a robot?
How do
I
we
do
even
like
know?
I do the captcha test, and it's like pick out all of the stairs, and this, every square with stairs in it, and I try it and I fail. And it's like, okay, pick out all the squares with bicycles, and I try it and I fail, and like, man, am I a robot? I'm because I could be. I mean, they probably wouldn't put it in my programming, right? Just saying, man. But yeah, I like humans. I'm very human forward. I think along the lines of what Rob is talking about is like I've noticed like the only companies that really use like bots as like the front line is like big companies that you have to do business with. So like if you call AT&T or if you call like the power company or if you call like one of these big corporations that don't want to don't want you talking to a human and like there's nothing you can do about it. Government agencies, stuff like that. It's like, oh crap. I gotta talk to this robot. And they don't understand you. Or they pretend not to, right? Because like you can't convince me. It's like I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm one of those guys. And you can't tell me that they don't have the technology to really understand what you're saying, especially, I mean, I'm pretty, I enunciate pretty well. And if I can say something 4 times and the robot doesn't understand what I'm saying, it's like, I really don't believe you don't understand me. I think you're screwing with me.
So when you
You
say
tell it that too?
operator,
Wow, now my rant is over. Now do you believe I'm human?
Yeah.
But
If they
yeah.
ever question your humanity, insert rant. That would be my prompt. And yeah, I have seen some people actually build like stupid bugs that are intentional to annoy people. Like if they're getting fired and their base wasn't filled correctly, putting in like a user captcha that your password is wrong, but really the command behind it is if password is entered correctly, say password is wrong, and then they bail. And like they leave people with this problem to figure out because they're like, yeah, they'll figure it out eventually, but screw them. Yeah, I've heard of funny little developer stories, and I would imagine people doing that nowadays too with AI. It's too easy to build that dumb conundrum.
I
But
can imagine that's true. Yeah. Some nerds like getting even.
the good
That's
thing about Glass is like AI is not hitting us yet. Like the trades are safe. The last one's safe. It's too expensive to build the robotics needed to mimic our craft that would replace humans. There's going to be like way major human elements needed in our trades for a while. It's these other like corporate white collar, those are the trades getting hit hard and hit first, hit now. Like admin, legal assistant, paralegal, all these like office executive, like those accountant types, their jobs being done with AI at a brisk with a simple like connection. That's the places are getting like hit. But good that we're safer now. So don't worry about y'all's things. Just make sure you know what's coming so you're not hit when it does. Because robotics will be very far away.
yeah. Yeah, I the perfect job for a chat bot really would be like a psychoanalyst. Because all it has to do is like, you talk for a while and it just says, so how do you feel about that? You know? Or just like repeat the last 3 words that you say, with an upward inflection. Hate your wife or something like that. I mean, because really, that's how psychoanalysts work. They let you solve your problem. They just sit there and kind of watch you do it. So that'd be a perfect job for a chatbot. Yeah. So get to work on that because I can use some therapy, man, for sure. Hate robots? No, just kidding. I don't hate them. I think they're cool. I think automation is awesome. I mean, it's like there are a lot of things that humans really shouldn't do, like coal mining.
Yeah.
There's no reason to send humans down there to do that. That's stupid. I mean, it's like that's something that robots could easily do, and it's like should do. Or like war. I think everybody should just send robots out there. One of my favorite things is battle bots. Any of you guys watch battle bots?
Dude, that
Yeah,
was
I've
That
cool.
seen
is
Yeah.
kick ass, dude. I don't care who you are, man. That's fun. They've gotten really good too, man. They've gotten like really, man, super competitive over the years. So I don't watch it a lot, but I catch up on it from time to time. But yeah, what if you could just send a bunch of robots out, just to beat each other up? And then like whoever's robots win, you're like, okay, yeah, okay, we get the oil or whatever.
is that when they fight in the cage?
Yeah,
Go
like
out.
a
Oh yeah.
plexiglass
Uh,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun.
Is that still going on?
I think so. I
Wow.
think it is. I haven't watched it in a while, but every now and then, I'll catch like a rerun on it or something. But Rob, are they still doing that? Rob would know.
I'm not sure. I've caught the old ones. I don't know if they like refreshed it. They probably did. There's just so many shows going on. Me and my wife just watch cooking ones now. It's more like she
We
chooses
love
them
cooking
and
ones. Yeah.
She
Yeah,
chooses, I enjoy. That's our pattern.
yeah, yeah. Let's take a look real quick on BattleBot's homepage here. See what if those robots are still fighting. A new era begins. A new league is born.
There it is.
Man, what are you telling me? That's awesome. Yeah, it looks like they're still going strong, man. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. They're these little robots. They're no bigger than what, 3 foot wide, maybe, and maybe a couple feet tall or something, and put them in a ring, man. And they're remote controlled, and they
Do you like the quick ones more or the slow big ones more that have, there's always this little quick one that's running around very fast. And then you always got these big ones that
Like a
just,
tank. Yeah.
like if they get you, they get you. But
it seems like the big slow ones are the ones that end up winning. They're the ones that end up in the championships. They'll have like a big bar that's just kind of spins and like just get up next to it and boom, hit it and throws it up in
plays
the
them all
air.
the way across.
Yeah, man, there's pretty cool. I mean, you can watch like a half an hour of it and you're like, okay, I've seen all that there is, to see here, but it's a pretty good
Uh,
half hour.
Ryan, on the topic of AI stuff here. I got a question for you. You're using Gun3 AI for takeoffs and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
How do you keep yourself from getting too far ahead of your skis kind of thing? Like, because they can probably pump out as much as you can give them. And
Yeah.
to make sure you're not getting too much work that you're not prepared for, do you have any parameters set up? Do you tighten your parameters at a certain, like, what do you do to control your success rate of getting jobs? You know what I'm
So
saying? Because
that's a great question. And so what we did, and are you thinking of using them or?
I'm thinking. So my goal is to try to get another $1 million in commercial revenue, and
Yeah.
it's happening unintentionally somehow because I'm thinking about it, and just different things we're crossing paths with. And yes, like I don't have time to sit down and bid these things, but we're getting a lot more commercial stuff, and it's like, but obviously, if we get too many of them, or if you say yes to too many of them, then we're ahead of ourselves. We're too far ahead, and you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want to have that problem where I'm committing to things that you can't fulfill.
Right.
So
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by GlassGadget.com. Showcase Innovations creates tools that help shower door installers be more efficient and save time. Check out GlassGadget.com for more information.
So the nice part about this is, and you'll get more comfortable with it as you go along, but even if you took that out of the equation right now, just give me an idea, like how many jobs are you quoting in a month, let's say?
well, recently we quoted, so recently we've quoted probably 4 or 5, but we get all of them, pretty much. So it's like we gotta, and that's at a higher margin than commercial would traditionally do. It's the same margins, if not a little bit more than we would do on shower doors. So it's like, fuck,
How are these people finding you?
just searching for us.
So
They're organic searches.
if you opened up the lead funnel and brought more
Mhm.
in, you wouldn't be able to keep up with it, right?
Exactly. Yes. And that's without like signing up for things. Like there's another platform, construct connect,
Building
something like
connected,
that. Huh?
building connected.
No, it's Construct Connect. They have a office down here, but anyway, it's sending us tons of stuff for our area for bids and stuff like that. If we were to entertain all of this stuff, and it's like we would need to hire people, which is fine, but like we'd also need to train them and stuff like that. And we'd also need to make sure, so all those things, I feel like it's a very underserved market in our area. The too small for the big guys, but nobody else in our area will serve them. So
Yeah.
there's tons of like piddly commercial jobs that the big guys don't want to mess with, and it's like if we could capitalize on those, it'd be great.
Well, first, congratulations, you found a niche that no one's serving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you can even target your marketing to this, that we do commercial from, X amount of square feet and up, or 20,000 to 50,000.
Mhm.
Like, just find your wheelhouse. And
Yeah.
then you don't have to price everything under the sun. There's your first parameters. And then you can start
Yeah.
looking at, when these come in, when's this closing and when's expected completion? And just get like a 2-year calendar and put it on your wall. If you
Hmm.
got this in yellow, right, it would take here. If you got this would go here. If you get the job, put it in green now. That's,
Hmm.
within reason, because job sites delay or whatever. You're in this area with 3 guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You still have room in the schedule here, and you just start compiling. And if it goes well, and I think if you're getting that much work and you're closing 100%, raise your price. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you can't work for everyone. Just raise your price. And
Yeah.
then that'll afford you to pay someone like Guthrie to do this for you. And if it's still coming in, that gives you the opportunity to train the people that you want doing the work the way you want them to do it, while you have a third party doing the admin and pricing for you. And that way, that wheel's still moving and the leads are still coming and it's still being serviced while you're taking care of the front line and managing the work. Because once you get it, you still have the issue of managing the work. That's,
Yeah.
truth be told, that's our biggest bottleneck right now. It's not
Hmm.
the funnel or the estimating, it's what you get. Now you got to entertain it, you got to order, you got to site measure it. And then you got to
Receptive.
the whole back end of chasing your
Yeah.
money and doing all your forms and stuff. So
Hmm.
you get that out of the way, and then you can focus on what needs you next. But the nice part is it's not like previous to that, if you were doing that, you weren't pricing. Or if you were pricing, you weren't installing. So it was always this like sine wave type thing. You're
Hmm.
crazy busy, so you stop pricing. And then you drop dead. And then you're pricing everything under the sun to get caught up again. So you don't have the steady line. You're doing this all the time. Having a service like that took care of that, and then you can just focus on what you want. If you want more work, increase the capacity. Quote more, screw with the margins, whatever. But that lets you work on the operations while someone else is working on that. And it's just systematized. You set your parameters. I want this margin or this markup and this material. And you set it, but you just say, yes, I'm happy with the price. Go ahead and submit.
Yeah.
It takes your
Right.
time, 3 or 4 hours or 8 hours down to 20 minutes.
Do you go in and tweak those parameters based off of your business load and what you're doing in your current situations? And you know what I'm saying? Like, say you get booked 2 years out or something like that, and you've got things that are signed and paid for 2 years out. Do
Yeah.
you constrict it and say, hey, we don't, you just really tighten it up or something, or, do you go in all the time and adjust that
Well, if
essentially?
I'm looking like even just, let's forget 2 years, let's say 6 months out, I'll
Yeah.
price. The only thing I won't do this with is schoolwork, but anything else, I'll price it. And what's the worst that's going to happen? I get the work. I'll get more guys.
Yeah.
I don't be afraid to use subcontractors either. Then they come with their own liability insurance, their own vehicles, and they're just another invoice like another vendor. And they're responsible for the work that they do too.
Especially
So
with commercial work, because
yeah,
it's no big deal to have subcontractors on,
Hmm.
unless you've got some kind of an agreement that you won't. But with residential, that's a little trickier. But
Yeah.
commercial, it's not.
yeah, yeah. There's lots of options. It really, once you have one thing on your plate of minutia that you have to do every day handled by someone else. It just lets you focus on everything else as a whole. And then you can really work on the business and understand what's going on
Mhm.
while you had your nose in the papers trying to price stuff.
Yeah. I think it's a really good opportunity for us, but if we do it currently, I would be the one taking on the workload as far as pricing all this stuff. So I really don't have the bandwidth to do all the pricing on it and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So I don't want to pull too many levers and start getting all these things and have to price them myself, you know?
But if you're pricing them at the right price, because right now, if you're getting 100% of what you price, I
Yeah.
know you're saying you're getting good margins, you got to raise your price. You can't be
Yeah.
doing everything for everyone.
You shouldn't be
Yeah.
getting everything you quote.
No,
I'd say
that's a red
everything, but
flag.
yeah, there's one sitting there waiting for approval.
Yeah, but
Yes.
in
Even if you're
the
getting 90% of what you quote, your prices,
Yeah.
you can increase your price. Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
construction world, it's not unheard of that you get a 10% close rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if you're 10, 20, let's say 25%, that's a good health. Hopefully you have a good healthy margin that you can pay for your outsourced services. And if the workload's still there, bring more guys. And you just lay them off if you don't have the work. But the nice part is you have that service consistently feeding the machine.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you want, I'm happy to talk to you about it one day and go through everything we do from funnel to invoice.
Yeah. And my wheels are just turning, all the time. So
Good. They should
the
be.
wheels are always turning, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Don't be
pretty sure
afraid to
that's
raise your price.
a very underserved market in our area for
But
sure.
then, and that's what I mean. You've got the blank check, so charge
Yeah.
accordingly for it.
Yeah.
You're lucky that way. If you've got a healthy economy and you found this underserved niche, you've got the golden goose, man. I would hire them and keep that flywheel spinning as long as you can. Because you're basically got a McDonald's on your hand, you're ready to print money if it's that lucrative.
It's consulting hour brought to you by Shower Door Professionals Facebook group.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Love it, man. Speaking of consulting,
That was like a consulting 10-minute, like 5-minute bam, like Ryan talking about consulting for shower door people and all that. Like that was exactly the type of experience people need too, bottled up. Not just like the shower stuff, but the experience of what you talked about, like how to approach this, the niche itself. Like you made me think about in Austin how that's why the owner did that. He only went after like the small storefronts of his friends, that like all these major things that people wanted to land that all my friends were working on because they were in Ben Swinger or some other place. We were doing like small one-off storefronts, but that was his bread and butter. He was priced perfectly. He got to say no to whatever he wanted, and demand was so crazy. Like it was always worth the time to pick up whoever he needed to go do it. And I was like, now it makes sense. And like with the way you're talking, he found his niche. And when you have it like that, you could price it right for sure.
As long as you price it and you know your numbers, you have to know what your monthly nut is that you have to carry and just reverse engineer. How long will it take you to do the job? What does it cost for the guys? What does my rent cost? What do my phones cost? What do the trucks cost? Here's what I need to make a day. Here's what I want to put in my pocket. And as long as you're getting that margin, and I would just, and if you're getting everything still, I would still push it because you're going to grow.
Yeah.
You're going to need higher overhead. You're going to need more vehicles. You're going to need more phones. You're going to need more insurance coverage. So throw another 5% on it and see if they still land. And if they do, then
Definitely.
you give the cushion
Yeah.
to hire.
Definitely doing that. Like this one was I just priced. I just kept adding to it. I was like, good Lord, we're still not like, so they literally, my brother brought me a customer he had a high bid and he had a low bid. And he said, I don't trust either one of them. One of them is too high. One of them is too low.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let's price it for him then. And I was struggling to get past the low bid. I was like, well, let's just keep adding stuff. Just, let's just keep adding stuff so we can get to a comfortable number. I said, we've already met our traditional margin that we're making. Let's add some more stuff to it, and we'll see what happens with it. So,
The money's out there. As long as you treat them right, they'll come back.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
Ryan, you said something a minute ago that really made a lot of sense. That if you're going to grow, your expenses are going to increase,
you
right?
need
Your
the
your
cushion.
overhead's going to increase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is an opportunity for you to start collecting future
Hmm.
expenses today, right? So to start building, the business you're going to have to do all these new customers by increasing your rates now.
Hmm.
That's brilliant, man.
Essentially, I could stock away enough money to hire a project manager and basically have his salary covered for a year and not worry, if you increase it enough, I would imagine.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you what I learned in like all my coaching programs, and this is going to be very abbreviated. But think about the company that you want to have in 3 years and what that looks like, and put yourself in that seat now. What does that overhead look like? What do you need to make? And what's the absolute quickest line to get there? Start acting like your company is that size now rather than what it is and building to it. Pretend it's that size now. And what decisions and what kind of money and what do you need to make to be there? Because that's the quickest way there. So
that's
it
right.
might mean more money. Maybe at some point you want a new shop, you want 25,000 square feet, and you're going to fabricate yourself. What does it take to be there? What kind of margins do you need? What size jobs are going to do that? You need a goal to work from and then just work backwards and just find the absolute shortest way possible to get there and get rid of all the noise.
Yep. Check writers. Need bigger check writers.
You want to work for the ones that have a $50,000 invoice and just write you the check rather than the $500 ones that complain about spending $500.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm doing. I'm trying to get rid of it's like trade the small invoices for the bigger ones right now. Like say no to all the small stuff and just start targeting the bigger things. It's like, I mean, if you can sell cars, why wouldn't you just go sell a Ferrari if you had the choice? If you could sell both a Ferrari and a Toyota Corolla just as easily, why aren't you going to sell the damn Ferrari and make more money? It's like,
Right.
I don't. You sell one Ferrari and you get sell how many Corollas?
Because the normal people are scared of the volume. They're worried that they might have to wait a month to sell that Ferrari, where the
Hmm.
Toyotas are consistent, so they can sell 3 or 4 a week or whatever. So they're
Yeah.
grasping on those little commissions just because they feel safe. But if you take
Hmm.
that chance and go for it and have that as the goal, just put yourself in the seat now that that's what I want to do. And
Yeah.
you put it out there, you'll get there.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe Noble fabricates in 3 years and you have your own, aluminum line and you're building that, or you're cutting your own glass and polishing and you CNC machine in 3 years and maybe you get a tempering line. Who knows? If that's what
Why
you want,
not?
write it down and work backwards.
Hmm. I think there's so many great fabricators and producers of things out there nationwide. You should be easily be able to have a pipeline of people that you can call on in any sort of geographic region to help you facilitate a commercial job or any sort of job, as long as you have the relationships. So you wouldn't even, I don't think you need all that unless you really wanted to,
You know,
but you know,
but
so,
the Dodmans found a need because
mhm.
they were pulling was lacking quality and time. So
Yeah. So, but who knows?
no,
Yeah.
if you want help to go over it, I'm happy to help you one day.
Oh,
And definitely talk to Ted at Guthrie. He'll give you a demo, I'm sure. Just
Oh,
try it.
I know they'll do it all for you. I'm sure they're all ready to do it. Just a matter of making sure you're ready to go. Um,
Well, it's just like anything too. I mean, you can ease into it. I mean, you don't have
Mhm.
to go from 0 to 100, overnight, right? You're gonna get the feel of it. You're gonna try it out. You can set it at one, and see what happens, But yeah, be willing to make that commitment. It's like, the other thing, like, yeah, Ryan's exactly right. Is think about where you want to be and then like start figuring out what you have to do to be there. But
Mhm.
what's also important is figure out what you have to stop doing now, you know? And like yeah, this is another thing you'll learn is that it's really not so much what you have to do, but it's what you have to stop doing, you know? And so it's like it's letting go of that part of the business, like when you stop doing that and let somebody else do it, it puts you in a whole different like realm, puts you in a whole different field. So instead of having a to-do list, you have a stop doing list. It's a list of things I need to stop doing.
It's important.
It
The
is.
stuff that distracts you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, gotta go. See you next week.
All right, Tim, take it easy, buddy.
Good,
All
Tim.
right, take
Adios,
care.
Tim.
Yep.
Hmm.
So what is the Ryan, you were talking, was it an AI or different company?
So it's an actual company, but they're using AI technology to go through all your tender documents. So what would take, for example, our guys hours or days to do, like my guy's pricing like mall storefronts. And by the time he sends out the RFQs and all that stuff, he could be 7 or 8 days on one job pricing it. They can do 40 in a month in the same time. And we just have like a weekly meeting. We did this, and this, a lot, and you follow along in the pipeline. But they have AI software that will dissect the drawings and extract everything out from your division. So you have
Wow.
800 square feet of storefront, these entrance doors, all the interior mirrors. You've got these framed mirrors. You've got this wall of mirrors. You've got 8 showers in the change room, and blah, blah, blah. And they just list it out. And they can bust through that in minutes.
Wow. Is
Yeah.
it expensive or is it per job? Like a
It's
cut?
a I the one I'm on, it's a monthly subscription.
Okay.
So I think originally he was doing it per job, but I think now it's just a monthly subscription you do.
Is it like a new thing, like local or?
It's a Ted's out of Philadelphia,
Oh, okay.
but he's got VAs and stuff that help him, so they're nationwide. But yeah, it's all run out of the US.
Gotcha.
And it is expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, but you got to be at that point, right? Once you get to that point, it's not as expensive,
It's a
relatively
volume thing.
relatively speaking, right?
Relatively speaking,
Right,
I'm paying a guy to do it and he can do 4 jobs versus them doing 40.
right.
So the cost per hour is actually saving me money.
Yeah.
And again, we're throwing more darts at the board
Mhm.
in much less time. And, not to go on another tangent, but you can get rid of them anytime you want. You don't have right to work issues and you don't have to pay the compensation, the taxes, the employment insurance because they're a subcontractor. They're just another service that you deal with rather than someone in-house.
Yeah. I can
Is it
see
just
I can
like
see the
building
attraction.
certificate?
What's that?
Is it just like bidding sites that they're looking at
You
or
send them
job
everything you
companies?
want. They'll do the tender board, they'll do your private work, doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
It's great. It's one of the biggest things that helped us step up. This next biggest thing, next ingenious thing we've ever tried, and thank Chris, was hiring movers for glass. Nothing beats that.
You tried that, huh?
I love it. We've done that like 3 or 4 times now. It's
Brilliant.
great.
Yeah, simple little like, just thinking out of the box a little bit, you know?
I only had one job where we had them booked and they backed out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They said it was going to be, well, the glass was like 700 pounds a piece. That's when they said no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Yeah, it's me, it's the more you can kind of, outsource like that. I mean, I'm not sending it overseas, right? You're sending it to another local business, But the more you can do, you can do that. It's like it's awesome because like you say, it's off of your like workers' comp and all that stuff, and your EREs, right? You don't have to think about any of that. It's just like you just write a check, they send you an invoice, you write a check, boom. If they're a corporation, you don't even need a W-9 or whatever,
Yep.
just like simple.
Done. And the
Done.
best part, the thing I can't get over, like I think back to that job where they actually didn't show up, and we ran well into the night doing this, where they quoted the job. If it goes over hours, it doesn't matter. And the best part is on the other ones, you're not risking your high paid labor throwing out their back or a shoulder or something when someone else is doing all the heavy lifting and they can use their brain power and their skill set to do the tangible things that you pay them high value to do rather than slugging glass 100 feet through places. And you don't risk that injury. You don't risk a guy out for 6 weeks because he tweaked his back doing something on, ridiculously heavy. You subbed it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like kind of getting back to like the beginning of the call, like we were talking about consulting. So consulting, like for a shower door, a shower door company or a shower door sale, let's say. That looks like your layout guy, the guy who goes out to actually sell the job, right? The guy who goes out to actually take the dimensions, do the templating, make the close the deal. That person is probably your most valuable team member or one of them,
One
right?
of them for sure.
And then I mean, so that time is valuable. I mean, you're gonna build some of that into the cost. So it's like when they say, "Wow, that's what's expensive." It's like, yeah, it's expensive. It takes really skilled people to do this work. And it's materials that are very fragile and very sensitive, and you can't just go to Home Depot and get another one, man. I mean, yeah, it's expensive, right? And you're gonna build some of that cost into the sale. But if it goes on and on, if it ends up the guy's out there babysitting and spending hours with the customers because they can't make up their mind or whatever, you need to recoup that cost, and it's expensive. And then when you're talking about your installers, that's another probably, they're, one of your most valuable team members as like a good installer. So I mean, those are some of your top, should be probably your top paid. You're probably not paying your office help anywhere near what you're paying your installer. I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right? And then like your whatever it is, project manager or whoever your sales guy is or whatever, probably making good money
Yep.
because they're closing deals and they're bringing back. They've got to come back with super accurate data. They got to be able to run your machine or whatever, to get the right dimensions. So wherever you can like save their back, so to speak, whether it's literally or just figuratively, wherever you can shorten up that process or make it easier, make it smoother, or make it run, quicker. That's where you want to focus your energy. So it's like that's what I love about like get a moving company to move the glass. That's what they do.
Yep.
That's what they do. It's like, yeah, Glazer can do it and they know how, but man, that's a valuable member of your team. If you can like, say, imagine Imagine how much they appreciate that, dude. Your guys probably feel like rock stars, man. When they walk into a bathroom, they probably swagger in there, you know? They're like, oh man, like a like a rock band, and the roadies have been there and put all their guitars in place, you know? And they're like, oh, we just have to walk in and pick it up and play it, you know? It's like, because I mean that's how I felt when I was having people move my glass. It's like, wow, man, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I mean, you're gonna retain people. You're gonna be able to court like the best talent, and you're gonna be able to keep them.
It shows you care too.
It shows you care, man. You just, you're smart. You're thinking, you're innovative, yeah. I love that. Makes me feel good right here.
Yep.
What else? Anything else? I think we did a pretty good job at covering some stuff there. Yeah, I feel like this was a worthwhile episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
What episode is it? Number 263.
They just
Nice.
keep flying by.
Man, must be doing something right. Hey, thanks for showing up, guys. We'll try it again next week.
See y'all later.
That's
Good
good.
night.
Have a good night.
See you guys. See you guys.